Welcome back to Biohacking Beauty, the show where we break down the science of youthful skin aging and help you upgrade your skincare from the inside out. I'm your host, Amitai Eshel, CEO of Young Goose Skincare, where we believe anti-aging should be smarter, not harder. Today's episode is equal parts no BS and high glow. We're joined by Sandra Silverman, author of From Bullshit to Botox, a beauty and wellness explorer who's tried it all: lasers, fillers, facelift, holistic medicine, life coaching, personal training, you name it. And here's the kicker. Most people think she's at least a decade younger than her actual age. So obviously we talk a lot about alternatives in this podcast. Alternative to Botox, to fillers, to whatever. But I don't think this podcast is only about that. I think we should be exploring the spectrum of things that make you look younger, things that people are interested in, things that people are willing to do. And this is a podcast that I've been waiting to do for a long time, where we do talk about what to do if you want to go under the knife, if you want to go under the syringe, for that matter. How do all of these things incorporate with holistic approaches? And I'm not alone. We actually got a lot of feedback that a lot of people they don't believe it's mutually exclusive. Biohacking and Botox are not mutually exclusive. So this podcast episode is for you all. So as I was saying, so what works? What's a total scam? And how do you build an anti-aging routine that actually delivers? We're getting into all of that today with Sandy's brutally honest take on Botox, Instagram beauty trends, and the real reason why women are burned out on trying to stay young. Here are just a few things you'll learn: the most overrated anti-aging treatments and what to do instead. How Sandy gets results without wasting time, money, or sanity. Whether Botox is becoming the new skincare and what no one tells you about it. And much more. I loved this episode. Also, if you're ready to level up your own skincare game, don't forget, you can get 10% off all Young Goose products by using the code PODCAST10 at checkout. Just head to younggoose.com. All right, let's kick things off. And we kicked them off. We kind of, started conversation off air and continued it on air. So we're starting off with some rapid fire questions. And this was a lovely convoy. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I have. Let's get it going. Okay, Sandra, welcome to the Biohacking Beauty podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, as I said off air, we really resonate with kind of your view of the beauty industry and personal journey, etc. So maybe we start with what do you think is the most overrated anti-aging treatment that you've tried?
I would say cool sculpting.
Yeah. Also, I think Cool Sculpt is interesting because it was bought out. I always forget the name of the company who bought the brand out, but it was mainly bought due to the litigious ability of the brand, because it was very easy to copy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the story is great, but there's not a lot there, right? And a big company just came out and bought it and said, that's great. I now only need to sue everyone and make a lot of money off, people kind of using off-label. I think that's what's going to happen with TCL in the end. That's what's going to happen with M-Sculpt.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that next. I was going to say M-Sculpt next. But yeah, I think that they're overrated. I don't really think they work. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion.
I think both of these it's crazy. Well, the loop starts with the company selling it to the practitioner for crazy amount of money. Like in the case of M-Sculpt and whatever you want to then say face, and they have the, I think maybe the only one that does do anything is the pelvic floor one. They're sold for like around $180 to $200,000.
Super expensive.
Super expensive, and competitors are like 30 grand. Right? But the reason everyone's going for that is for the brand name, and they kind of are saying, hey, we're not creating a really better product than the 30 grand, but we're giving you our brand name, and we're even going to kind of advertise for you. So it's a branding thing. But unfortunately, the consumer at the end of the day becomes a little bit, it rolls down to the consumer. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, these are definitely that's a big part in general. And speaking to a lot of sales reps in the beauty industry, they're saying, you have a limited amount of money you can kind of derive from your current client base, and that client base, will spend, $3,500, $4,000, whatever. But then they're not going to spend any more if they're not going to see results. So what you have to do is kind of try to pay off the device by the time you run through those client bases, right? And then you need to buy a new device because you need to kind of have a new story to tell. And a lot of the times most devices are not returning their investment even.
Are you saying most of the people buying the device?
I'm saying like practitioners.
Yeah. Are you saying most of them, are you seeing like in the beauty industry that most of these practitioners are buying or renting the device? Or can they rent?
I think most of them are buying. So if you think about it, most of the practitioners by volume, not talking about even by where most people are going, which I think is a different discussion, because exactly like everything in any 80-20 law rule, most people are going to 80% of people going to 20% of the practitioners, right? But from the 80% of the practitioners are people who are just starting to walk, are people who are pretty new, and a lot of them are doing either rental or they're buying used equipment.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The used equipment market actually is a huge market, especially in lasers, because lasers, well, you could actually have all wave-based devices or lasers with shock in there. It's really the used device is as good as new as long as you provide new cartridges or whatever consumable we're talking about. So for the most part, you're buying as good as new tool for less money. The people who sold the equipment most of the time didn't recoup the money for that equipment, therefore they sold it. Therefore, so the money kind of goes along and they buy a new tool, that they sell the old tool to buy a new tool. Is that what you're seeing as well? A lot of people, and again, there is a third category of like the top of the device echelon, which you are not only required to buy, you're also paying per use.
Right. That's right.
So, I mean, a lot of it is again, a lot of it is rolled down to the consumer. I mean, like I think the newest thing within the regenerative field is V-cell, very small embryonic like stem cells. And the reason it costs so much money is that you're not only renting the equipment, you're also paying, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 or $5,000 to $8,000 for every time you treat the blood and derive the V cells from it. Yeah. So that's as far as devices. What do you think? What do you think is the skincare ingredient that is a total, as TikTok says, total airball? What do you think is the overhyped skincare ingredient?
There are a lot of skincare ingredients that I really like. Are we talking about facials or are we talking about like injections?
I think injection is it's let's talk about injections. Actually, injections we don't cover, normally we say, hey, okay, Botox, whatever, but obviously
Right,
there is
right.
a huge, within neurotoxins, there is like a huge plethora of ingredients, some of them in the US, some of them not. And now within fillers or biostimulators, there is a huge field. So let's talk injectables.
Okay, great. So the one that I think is so overrated, and I don't like it at all, is Sculptra. And the reason why is because, first of all, you can't gauge like the results that you're going to get because you don't know, because it's your own collagen that's building since it's a
Yeah.
biostimulator. I like Radius because it's both. So you're actually filling or lifting with the Radius, and it acts as a biostimulator. I've tried both. I've never gotten good results from Sculptra. In fact, I had injected Sculptra in my elbows before I cut my elbow skin, and it created nodules. And those nodules lasted for a year. And
Wow.
then once I started doing my research, I've also seen other people that, because you don't know if it's going to create a nodule or not. And God forbid it's in your face or your neck, that's visible.
Yeah.
And the nodules they're like this big. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
I despise Sculptra. So
I couldn't agree more. Have you ever
okay.
heard like plastic surgeons like Amir Karam or Cameron Chestnut talk about Sculptra?
No.
It's crazy. They say, and that's something I remember going to speaking, when I was doing the rounds. I used to be like one of the people educating practitioners on red light therapy, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going to a conference called Becker Gordon. Becker Gordon is basically, these are two people, they invented facial plastic surgery or cosmetic plastic surgery. The famous story that they went and studied like art and created the whole ratio of
The golden ratio you're
or
talking?
beauty
Okay.
ratio at that point, it
Yeah.
was called. And they wrote a book about it, and they really started facial cosmetic plastic surgery. So there is a conference that they kind of started, and it's still considered like the going back to the well as far as like getting knowledge on facial plastic surgery. And I remember at that point, it was when Sculptra kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember plastic surgeons saying, this is the worst thing that happened to me as a plastic surgeon, because when I open the skin, normally the skin is like a book. I can open each page at a time, and I can, and I can go through the pages, and I can do whatever I want, and then I close it back page by page, etc. And opening the skin after multiple Sculptras is like someone poured water on the pages. They stick together. You cannot separate them, and they rip really easily.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's good information to
Yeah.
know. I just know from my experience, it doesn't work. And the nodules and thank God the nodules were my elbows, and I was able to correct that with the surgery, but not good.
Not good. Yeah. Especially because a lot of people, I don't know someone that didn't go and did something like Sculptra or any type of really, anything, I would say, like aside from Botox. Really, the main reason people are doing it is like, hey, let's see if I can prevent plastic surgery. Let's see if I can, live my life without having plastic surgery done. Let me try to take another road, right? That's, I mean, anyone I talked to. So you're basically not only not doing it, you're also making yourself a like a really bad patient. So you like Radiase, and that you.
I like Radius because it acts as a biostimulator as well.
Mhm.
So I want to see results. I don't want to wait months in hopes that I will have good results. So I like Radius. I don't do a lot of filler in my face. I use Radius more. I've used it in my butt area, or I've used it in my knees to act as a filler as well, and the biostimulator. I do some in my face, not a lot. I'll do like a little bit here for lifting. I actually will do a PDO thread here and there for lifting, but it's injected here and it goes up into the skull,
Mm-hmm.
which it helps lift the face this way
Mm-hmm.
instead of injecting here and going downward.
Yeah.
Because when you're pulling, you're more pulling down. This is not common.
Yeah.
My injector is amazing, but it's not common to do it that way. And it's definitely feels uncomfortable for a few days because
Mm-hmm.
you're injecting here, it ends here. And then when the thread comes out, you're actually pulling it
Mm-hmm.
in that direction. I'm a big believer in facelifts at a young age,
Yeah.
in your 40s. And the reason why is because you can go down the filler and the thread trap and all that you want and Sculptra and lasers and think that they're going to tighten. From what I found, the only thing that really works is cutting the skin.
Yeah.
And if you do it young enough, then you can maintain, because now I'm 54, so I can maintain with a thread here, thread there. I don't recommend a whole face of threads because that creates holes. And to your point, as you were talking about the Sculptra with the plastic surgeons, they don't like it because it does create holes. But the way that I do it is just one here, one there. It's not a really big deal, but I wouldn't recommend a whole face full of threads.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I think in general, really, the problem with any type of and threads for the longest time, and I'm sure that there are still doctors who would say, hey, it's also a type of a biostimulator, like it's a positive thing, right?
It does. Yeah.
The issue is, especially as we grow older, is that any injury is biostimulating. So at the end of the day, you are really susceptible to scarring, and the nodules that you're referring to could be described as just like a really bad, strategic scarring of your body, just like scarring really poorly and in clumps, right? But at the end of the day, we really want to minimize the opportunity for scarring as we get older, and we just scar more easily, and the scarring becomes less even, etc. So, I agree with you that minimizing the kind of the unnecessary stimulation or the uneven stimulation really is like a big target. And what's amazing about plastic surgery or facelift at a young age is that you are keeping things in place for longer. So let's say you did do even, let's say you did even do a filler or anything like that, it looks more natural. Like the combination of really any type of minimally invasive procedure plus plastic surgery looks significantly more natural than a Renee Zellweger type like scenario where you are trying to push everything through a one strategy like a filler.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I learned that the hard way. That's why I ended up with the facelift at 47, because I had tried a procedure called a Y lift. That was a disaster, but
yeah. So yeah, I get it completely. So what would you say is when did you start being interested in I would say like in complementary treatments? And
the first surgery that I had was in my late 20s.
Did you do anything before that? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, that was breast augmentation. But in my late 20s, it was in the 90s. So we're talking a long time ago. Yeah. So that was the first procedure. And then I've had rhinoplasty. I've had so many surgeries over the years. I wasn't really filling my face or even doing Botox until probably mid-30s.
Wow. Okay.
But it wasn't really that popular like it is now. So now a young girl, like in her early 20s, probably most of them have had Botox or filler or something, some kind of injectable.
Even just to see what it is. She, I don't know if she will see a difference in when they inject Botox, but it's what the cool kids do. So you do it too, right?
The biggest thing that I've seen with girls in their 20s doing, which I think is really counterproductive, is taking out the buccal fat.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are doing that. And honestly, you need that buccal fat as you age because you want that baby fat that you have in your face as long as possible.
Even for
So
good
that's
skin.
actually been common. Yeah.
Even for we now know that this fat contributes stem cells to the skin. Like
Mhm.
even if you feel like your face could use some shaping or whatever, this fat is like really the lifeline of good skin. So you know.
Absolutely.
So
I'm-
speaking of what people are doing now, what do you think is the worst trend you're seeing right now people do on Instagram or
I think the
TikTok?
worst trend is young girls going to plastic surgeons and showing them a filtered photo
Yeah, of
and
themselves.
wanting of themselves or
Wow.
somebody else and want to duplicate that.
Hmm.
It's not realistic.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's
And
very
I
easy
think
to
that
do
it's a
it.
major problem.
Yeah, it's very easy to do things in a computer. You don't need to comply with the laws of nature,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think is the biggest mistake women make when they're starting in like a going down the journey of whether it's injections or you said you've done a bunch of surgery. What do you think is a big mistake people do as far as like decision making? Are you yeah.
The biggest mistake would be finding a surgeon that's like a jack of all trades.
Hmm.
If you want a rhinoplasty, go to a rhinoplasty specialist. Don't go to somebody that does rhinoplasties and tummy tucks and breast augmentations.
Hmm.
Don't go to that person.
Yeah.
Go to the person that specializes. If you want breast augmentation, go to somebody that specializes in that. Same with a facelift or whatever the procedure is. Make sure they're specialists because these surgeons that do multiple face, body lifts, whatever, they're not doing enough surgeries to make them an expert.
Yeah.
So if you look at a facial specialist, a plastic surgeon that only does faces, he may do one a day. He may do 300 a year or 200 a year,
Yeah.
as opposed to somebody that's doing all of them and they may do 20 a year,
Hmm.
25 a year. It's
Yeah.
a huge difference. I think that's the biggest mistake that women make.
It's so smart. Yeah, I mean, to your point, like 4 surgeries a week is considered very high for facial plastic surgeons, like facelift. There are whole societies for plastic surgeons who are only interested in rhinoplasty. Like again,
Mhm.
like there are hours and hours of discussions on specific types of rhinoplasty. And there are just not enough hours a day to even keep up with the latest innovations in the
Mhm.
field if you're trying to do more than to be more than one like savant type specialist, right? Like you're not getting to the tip of the spear, as they say,
No, you're not getting an expert
for sure.
for that particular surgery.
So having said that, if you could only do one treatment forever, what do you think it would be?
That's so typical. I would say one treatment for the rest of my life would probably be radius because I
Really?
could do it just for multiple areas of my body.
Because it's so
I,
versatile.
yeah, I would say threads, but probably not because the threads that I do mostly body threads.
Hmm.
I'll do a little bit of my stomach for lifting in my knee area. But if I had to pick one, I would say radius.
Do you do anything around when you do threads or when you do biostimulants? Do you do anything around it as far as like your general health to improve recovery
Mhm.
or response, really? Because it's not really recovery as much as like response, right? Um, how do you treat your body in order to make sure you get the best results?
I take a lot of peptides
Hmm.
and I take NADs,
Hmm.
and the NADs are amazing.
Yeah.
Helps keep your weight down, gives you energy. I recover so much faster. I don't bruise as much as I did before. And I'm attributing that to the peptides that I take. I'm pretty consistent with those and supplements as
Yeah.
well. But I would say the peptides are
What
great.
peptides and what form? So are you injecting them? Are you doing them as far as an IV, oral?
I inject them. So I don't like the IVs. And the reason why is because there's so much saline in the IV. I don't feel like you're getting it's as potent as it is if you're just injecting straight into your
Yeah.
body. And I've learned that I injected my inner thigh. I alternate because I was doing my stomach for a long time and my stomach started to get puffy
Yeah.
and, I had a little bit of bruising. So I do the inner thigh and then it's fine. I feel like that's more effective for me. I take the NADs. I cycle different peptides. So
So
I
NAD you
take
inject as well?
the NAD. Yeah, I'm sorry. The NAD I inject as well
About,
every other day.
okay, about 150 milligrams, or what is your dose every other day?
I would say it's 30 per day, 3 to 4 times a week. So it's every other day.
So you're doing about 120 milligrams a
Mhm.
week.
Of the NADs.
Okay.
But you have to build up to that. That's
Yeah, that's a
something that
little.
you have to build up to.
Yeah, that's a little. There is some
Where
sensation
they're
involved.
milliliters. They're milliliters.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, I would say 30 to 35. But I had to build up to that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot.
And yeah, so I do that. I take a vitamin injection that my holistic doctor created. It's a Myers cocktail with B, C, glutathione, magnesium, and a fat burner called a MIC. I inject that every other day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not subcutaneous. The NAD is a subcutaneous injection. And then I cycle other peptides, CJC, 1295, and
Yeah.
ipamorelin. I'll do that for 2 months on, 1 month off. And then a copper peptide for skin and nails. Same thing. I'll do that 1 month on, 1 month off.
And when you do
I
that, how
take,
often do you inject it? Every other day?
no, those are every
Yeah.
day except for weekends. So those are 5 days
Yeah.
a week. And then for reverse aging, epitalon, I do. And there's some other ones that she'll add in here and there for the month.
Yeah.
That are cycled as well. So,
and when you want to like boost recovery, do you ever take like BPC 157 or TB
I
500?
have. So yes, I had broken my wrist and my tailbone, and that recovery was 12 weeks for the tailbone and
Wow.
probably 6 to 8 weeks for my wrist. And I was taking that, and that was helpful. In fact, I think I actually recovered a little bit faster because of the BPC.
Oh, for sure. So
Yeah.
here's a couple things. So normally the harder the area,
Mhm.
the more TB 500 is going to work better. So even like, so I would have used that. But here's something cool about BPC 157, because it really belongs in the gut, right? It's a signal
Yeah.
for like gut repair, gut lining repair, and that requires a lot of collagen deposition. So I would be very interested to see how you would experience, again, like biostimulation, which, when, for those listening, when we say biostimulation, we mean a foreign body injected, and your body responds to it like it's an injury, like it's it tries to encapsulate it, or it tries to resolve the inflammation associated with a foreign body, and it creates more collagen. That's why I said before, as we grow older, there is more scar tissue like involved in it. But I'm wondering how you would experience like BPC 157 cycled when you're doing something like that, if you would feel like you got better results just because it does signal more collagen production.
That's interesting. I haven't tried that consistently, so I could add that in.
Yeah, and
my
then
cycle just to see.
And then I would wonder, because it takes about 6 weeks to really build up in your system, BPC. That's kind of an annoying peptide in that aspect where, let's say you got injured. It's not like you inject it for the most part and you feel better like the next day. It's like 4 weeks, and then you start to understand it's working. So I wonder then, would it be better if you knew that you're going to do something, if you start earlier or if you start the day of? Just it's a fun experiment to see. That's really cool. So you do peptides, you do NAD. Do you do supplements of NAD? Do you take NAD orally, like NMN, NR?
I don't take it orally because I feel like I inject a lot of it. The ones that I take, mine are always changing. So I do my blood work every 3 months. So my supplements are constantly changing. So I may take like DHEA. I don't take progesterone or estrogen. So my levels are always low because those just don't work for me mentally.
Okay.
But I wish that they did. So I'll take vitamins A, K, selenium, just whatever my body's deficient in at that time. That's basically what I take. I take collagen, creatine,
Yeah.
and then whatever supplement I'm deficient in. Right now, fortunately, I'm not really deficient in much. Like vitamin D, I'm always deficient
Yeah.
in vitamin D, which I don't understand why, because I'm always in the sun. But um, I'm always deficient. Not too bad. My testosterone's always low, so I have to take a testosterone cream that's from a compound pharmacy.
Speaking of that, by the way, and the fact that progesterone and estrogen don't work for you, have you ever tried like just to use a face cream with like estradiol for
Mhm.
just for skin health, since you are low
Yes,
holistically?
I have.
Do
Hmm.
you feel that it makes a difference?
My estrogen level is always low,
Yeah.
no matter what I do. But I cannot take estrogen and progesterone from like my OBGYN. I've tried numerous times. It doesn't work for me. It causes a lot of pigmentation. It causes
Yeah.
weight gain. And mentally, it doesn't work for me.
Hmm.
I feel
Hmm.
unbalanced.
Yeah. It. I mean, you're not the only one experiencing that. A lot of the times, people would then like boost like
Hmm.
phytoestrogens, like soy and stuff like that, to try to
Hmm.
offset that. But yeah, I mean, I've heard that before. So what do you think people are not? I mean, that was great. I think peptides are getting there. Like people starting to talk about them. What do you think people are not talking about yet? Like, what do you think is one anti-aging thing that you do, or that you are thinking of doing, where you think people are still?
Exosomes.
Yeah. Do you think
I don't
it's
think
still
it's not
under the radar?
popular.
Not
Yeah,
popular
I
yet?
mean, it's kind of popular. It's just so depending on how you inject them and
Hmm.
who you go to. But you could go to a med spa and pay $5,000 for an IV with exosomes. My OBGYN will do it a lot cheaper.
Hmm.
I haven't done that with her yet. I'm on the schedule to do that. I don't believe that they're super popular,
Yeah.
but and maybe because they're expensive.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
It's not only expensive, it's also, most people don't know that exosomes are not really the actual thing that gives you the benefit. It's what's in them,
Mhm.
right? It's the growth factors, it's the
Right.
peptides. It's like, a lot of the times I say saying exosome, it's like saying liposomal. You're saying what carries the good things that you want,
Mhm.
right? And most places are not going to, again, be again, most places are kind of jack of all trades, and they just are looking to find a rep that will provide them exosomes. It will be a smooth transaction, and they don't make sure that they're like the highest quality, or they
Right.
carry like the best things in
Mhm.
them, or they care about like how were they produced, are there third party testing showing efficacy, etc. I think that is a huge challenge. And then on top of that, since that is something that they don't do a lot, again, because people are jack of all trades, then they ask for exorbitant amount of money, because they're saying, hey, I'm only doing it like 5 times a month. It better be worth it for me, $5,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, like we've been, researching exosomes for like 2.5 years, and this field is the wild west. Like really, you could,
It really is.
people are talking about, first of all, it's such a sexy thing to say right now, that either people are using plant exosomes, which really mean nothing.
No.
It has nothing to do with human derived exosomes, right? And then even if it says like human derived exosomes or anything like that, they still mix plant exosomes in them, to again say, oh, we have X amount, 1 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, 1 trillion, whatever. But really the beneficial amount is extremely low. No one tests if they're
Mhm.
viable, etc. So definitely, I hope that with more popularity and more regularity, right, we'll see we'll see kind of better ethics, I guess.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Okay, so now that we have kind of loosened up, let's get into the story behind the from bullshit to Botox.
The name, the title.
What inspired you to even to write it, and why the name?
Okay. So the book started, I was asked questions all the time because since I did so many procedures, I was like a go-to person for my friends and their friends and family members and everybody.
Yeah.
So I decided, why don't I just write this book where it's a guide and I'll have experts come in, but I'll also make it funny. So it's like my personality is kind of self-deprecating, humorous, an easy read, but with a lot of information.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And I quickly realized after writing the introduction and the outline that I'm not really a writer. So I found my co-writer, Erica Florentine, who's amazing. She's a New York Times bestselling author. And it was great. We started together, not this past October, but the year before. And the book was written in 6 months. It was so easy. All the experts were amazing. We put the book through beta reading. The beta readers came back with a lot of good suggestions, but overall they loved the book and they had a few really good suggestions that I, at that point made some changes. However, by April of last year, I did not have a name for the book. So the book was written. I didn't have a name. I couldn't even think of a good name. So my friend Haya, in the middle of the night, she had this burst of energy one night and she came up with 13 titles and subtitles.
Wow.
So she sent those to me. So I wake up one morning and there they are. And From Bullshit to Botox was one of them. And then our subtitle was another. And that's how we got the name.
It's a beautiful name. It's definitely like, again, it's a very enticing name. I think it kind of throws you into discovery mode, right? Like off the bat.
Yeah, no, it was great. Once I had the name, it was like all came together so perfectly.
Tell me, do you have a specific moment in your life where you said, I need to kind of document my journey, or was it more something that gradually you came to that realization?
Gradually, I came to that realization because I felt passionate about everything that I've done and the journey, and also the second part of the book, which is more of a holistic approach and self-love. And I just wanted to kind of bring it all together where somebody could read the book and like everybody could get something out of it, whether you are more interested in the external part of you or the internal part of you. There's something in there for everyone.
Yeah.
And when they read my journey and all of these procedures that I've done, they see like, oh, there's a woman out there that's going to be honest, talk about all of this, because a lot of women would be embarrassed. And then hopefully I can help them feel empowered to do a procedure and not feel embarrassed by it, or do something for themselves instead of what society wants them to do. And I explain all of that in the book, or even have a guide where if they are going to get a facelift or even something minor like microblading your eyebrows, that it explains everything in such detail where you kind of feel like, okay, I can do this procedure and not be afraid, or, this expert's talking about it in this way.
Yeah. And connecting to that, again, you've done anything from lasers to facelift to holistic healing. I'm wondering, what have you learned emotionally through this process?
To really love myself internally and not externally. So for years, I was focused on the external part. I need to look like this and I need to do this procedure. And it was just kind of, like you said earlier, a rabbit hole I was going down. And then I realized I need to work on the inside part. And that's when I started life coaching and figuring out a way to really find balance with my hormones and just feeling better every day. And once I did that and I woke up every day feeling energetic and happy and more balanced, and had been through life coaching, eliminated toxic people from my life, I really started to love myself. And the external part really wasn't that important anymore. Even though I had done all of these procedures, I really don't do the surgeries anymore. Like I'll do like little things here and there. But as far as being obsessed the way that I was, I have to do this procedure, that procedure, I don't really do them as much anymore. In fact, I haven't done a surgery in a while.
Well, I hope, first of all, that's cool. And I hope this does not spur you to do one. No, I'm kidding. But, it's very interesting what you said, because I think society right now, especially because of social media, is
Mhm.
so contrast and compare heavy, right? Like
Yeah.
you open your phone in social media immediately. We happiness in general, algorithmically, is seeing an example of where you could be, looking at yourself of where you are today, and looking and minding the gap, looking at the gap. And I think that shapes a lot of what happiness is, and a lot of the how our society functions today. I mean, what role do you think social media plays plays in shaping how women age today?
I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I think that social media can offer a lot of good information for
Hmm.
women, but I also feel like women can feel really bad about themselves if they're obsessed with social media and they're looking at these influencers or people in general who, like we said before, are using these filters that aren't
Yeah.
realistic. I see it all the time. I see girls that I meet and then I see their Instagram and I'm like, that's not who they are.
That's
That's
not
not this
you. That's
person.
not you.
And it happens so much. And I think women have to realize it's not realistic and it's so hard to comprehend. And I probably wouldn't have comprehended it had I not seen it with my own two eyes. Like I see a person and I see their Instagram because my Instagram, like overall, looks like me.
Hmm.
I may like smooth out my skin or,
Yeah.
just like put like not a, like a filter, but
Yeah. In
not
augmenting.
change the,
Yeah.
yeah, like that sort of thing. So in general, it pretty much looks like me, or, maybe a little bit prettier version, but still looks like me.
Hmm.
But I see people that look completely different and to the point where you're like, that's not the same person. And when
For sure.
women see that, they need to understand like there's so many apps out there. You can change your body, you can change your face. I could add hair, I can change my eye color. I could take in inches off of my waist, my legs. I can make myself tan. There's so many things that you can do. And I don't think a lot of women understand this. These lab apps that you just put your picture in and then literally program what you
Yeah.
want and you come out like an AI figure. So I think a lot of women see these people that are so that look is so hard to achieve and they don't understand that it's a lot like an app that's doing that.
You're
So I think it's a double-edged sword. So I
for sure.
think it's helps women in some way, giving a lot of information, but hurts in another way because
Yeah.
they're looking at unrealistic.
You're reminding me, someone was, doing a live, and then their father was there, and she was using some, crazy generative, filter. And then she's like, "So, Dad, what do you think?" And she showed her dad, and her dad couldn't get over how he looked with that filter. He kind of, and obviously she got a little embarrassed, but
That's
but
so
it,
funny.
it's true. And it definitely, as you said, like a lot of people, like the new thing is showing a surgeon or an injector a
Mm.
photo of filtered you and tell him, "Hey, I wanna. This is the person I think of myself more than the person looking at me from the mirror. So could you please match that to that
Mhm.
person?" Um,
Yeah, it's sad.
do you think there's too within that there is too much shame around aging, or too much obsession with hiding it?
I think both. I think women are upset, especially my age, where if they haven't kept up with themselves over the
Yeah,
years, they wake up one day and they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, how did I get here? And
yeah,
how do I make changes? And that's another reason why I wrote the book is you can start at any age and you can read the book and you can take, even if you want to do a little enhancements where you're afraid to have a surgery or even afraid to do injections, just by doing your eyebrows, microblading, and maybe adding eyelashes and a new hairstyle, maybe some extensions, whatever, you can do some
if
improvements.
you don't want Botox, just get bangs.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So even changing the way that you dress, the way you wear your jewelry, it
Hmm.
all contributes to the aging process or looking younger.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of women my age lost themselves, a long time ago. Their 30s, 20s and 30s, they looked one way. And then if you don't keep up with it, it can be disastrous.
Yeah.
And it can be really upsetting. So, I mean, there's never too late. You can start somewhere. And hopefully if they read, my book, they can look at suggestions and, that sort of thing in the book. And
I think it's always a good idea also to know what to expect, right? Like, I think if you have a delusion of what can happen, either way, like you think there's no hope, or if you think that really, you could go to like a surgeon and get out of there and there is no, recovery is like super easy. You just 2 days and you're back to your office job, right? And then you wake up, after surgery, 5 days later, you still are wrapped up like a mummy. Everything hurts. You're drugged out or whatever. I think there is a lot of, and I actually know that there are a lot of people who are just, the recovery is the thing that gets them emotionally more scarred than even how they look beforehand or anything around that.
I think women have to also be careful when they are interviewing surgeons for a procedure to make sure that they can go under Twilight instead of general. And I know a lot of doctors, just especially in Florida, they all want to do general. Your recovery time is so much longer than doing like Twilight. Like most of the procedures I've had were under Twilight. However, there were some under general, and I definitely do not recommend that. You can get a facelift done under Twilight. I cut my elbows just with a local.
Yeah.
I was in her office. Then a lot of doctors can do that as well. But what I've found in Florida, a lot of them are heavy, like they heavily believe in general anesthesia, and I do not. So, and I think your recovery time is so much longer.
Yeah, I agree.
When you do that.
I agree. But let's talk a little bit about what does work, what actually works. What are your top 3 treatments or interventions that actually make a lasting difference made a lasting difference in your appearance?
The facelift is number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is lymphatic work. I do lymphatic work 6 days a week, a lymphatic treatment that I do myself. It's with this fascia blaster and a caffeine cream, and I use a gua sha. So I do that.
Face too, or mainly body?
Face and body. Because my lymphatic system doesn't work that well, probably because of all the treatment or the surgeries I've had. So I'm a big believer in the lymphatic work. So I love the facelift. I love the lymphatic work, and also weight training.
Yeah.
So for women who, as you're getting older, you have to weight train. You cannot just get away with Pilates and cardio. Your skin will sag, I promise you. In fact, there's a Pilates instructor that goes to my gym, and people follow her from all over. She's in the gym 6 days a week doing weight training. She's not just doing Pilates. Her body just didn't become that muscular from Pilates. But that's like a big misconception. So I love weight training. I love the lymphatic. I love the fact that I did the facelift in my 40s.
I love it. First of all, a shout out to Ashley Black.
Yes, that's her.
Yeah, I love her, and she's a good friend. And the Fascia Blaster is the coolest product ever. I would say, a lot of people are doing cosmetic procedures as a substitute for work. And there is no one invented anything that replaces work.
No.
And when you are doing any type of injectable, any type, the minute you have a needle in your face, probably I'm missing something, but the minute there is a needle in your face, whatever you are going to get in return, you are paying for in lymphatic flow. Botox or whatever that is, like a neuro-limiting, synapse limiting, firing limiting compound, whatever that is, you are not moving your muscles as much. Your lymphatic system is reliant on that. You have fillers, they merge into your tissue. That would mean that there is less lymphatic flow. Like really, but you could still live with, you just need to manually
Yes.
work your lymphatic system.
And if you don't, I promise you will be puffy because I was puffy for
You'll
years.
be puffy, and there is going to be migration.
Oh yeah, and then you're right, and then my roots.
Yeah. And what happens is you're getting used to it, and then the next time you're injecting, you really your mind starts to, like, it's called perception deviation. You really don't understand how you looked before, so it kind of looks okay, and then you want more fillers. It's really it's a difficult thing, but there is no substitution for work. So that's really cool that you said that.
Yeah.
Are there any procedures that you really regret or wouldn't recommend to other ones?
2 procedures. One was liposuction in my knees and my stomach. The knees are still an uphill battle that I have to do threads and add more filler because I took out too much fat. The skin sagged more than it would have had I not I shouldn't have done that. I should have just done the hard work, which I didn't. And liposuction in my stomach, which I had to correct that with a mini tummy tuck, unfortunately. I regret those 2 a lot. And then I did this Y lift procedure in New York where they took a lot of filler to lift. The first time I did it, it was fine because he went in with the cannula and just kind of sculpted my face. The second time, he pie faced me. So my face, I came out of it and my face was like this big.
Wow.
It took a year to get the filler out of my face. It was horrible. So those 2 procedures I regret the most. And you just have to be very careful, especially with liposuction.
Yes. What's your skincare routine? And maybe how did it change throughout the years?
It's changed. The products changed. So it's good to do 3 rounds of whatever skincare line that you like, and then alternate the same thing that you would do like with your shampoo and conditioner. I use Dermamade, and then recently some brands have sent me some skincare products that are really nice. One's called Oliveda. So I just kind of alternate, but the Dermamade I love the most, I would say.
And when you say 3 rounds, what do you mean exactly by 3 rounds? Do you mean like 3
Meaning
bottles?
That you go through, so you would go through the whole line 3 times and then switch to another skincare.
And when you do that, do you kind of see that, or are you trying to also look at like, specific molecules? Or you're saying, hey, I used, let's say, vitamin C or niacinamide in this round, so maybe I'm not going to use it next time. Like, what do you see there?
No, I would still use the same kind of ingredients next time. Just switch to other product. Just switch around because then you don't get your skin used to the same thing. Overall, my skin's good. The only issue that I have, which is an uphill battle, is pigmentation. I have a little bit here, one spot here. No matter how many times I take it off, it comes back. I'm able to cover it with makeup, but overall, my skin is good. And probably part of that is the peptides, the collagen.
Yeah. The especially like CJC 1295 ipamorelin. The reason we say it like that, by the way, to anyone listening, they come together. They are. No one uses them. Some people use ipamorelin separately, but they normally come together and they increase growth hormone. And growth hormone is like extremely important. Anything from collagen production to blood flow to even good sleep, which I would argue is like really important. Having said that, you talking about good sleep, how do you balance medical aesthetics with more holistic or internal wellness?
Internally, so like I said before, I started with the life coaching and balancing myself with, the injections, vitamins, the nutrition. So I get minimum 100 grams of protein a day, which was a game changer for me. I sleep 8 hours.
Beautiful.
I'm not really big on like meditating, but for me, I like to walk. So that kind of calms me down. And a lot of times I'll walk before I even go to bed at night. I don't really have a problem sleeping, but I do like to get 8 hours of sleep. It makes me a much happier, more balanced person. And, just getting the proper nutrition, the proper water intake, and with my supplements. Like I said before, I eliminated a lot of toxic people from my life. That's helped as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like hard to balance everything. You just have to really stay consistent and really stick to your belief system. So for me, it works to eliminate the toxic people. I try to have just more like-minded people around me. And, it works. I'm a much happier
I love it.
person.
I love it. I think that's, long term.
Mm-hmm.
That, what, let's just say this. If you want to really prepare really well for your plastic surgery in your 60s, start developing relationships in your 40s.
Yes, absolutely.
The studies, although like not like super robust, but studies showing the difference between people visiting you in the hospital after
Oh,
surgery and
yes.
recovery are like, it's literally like the best medicine, the best recovery
Mm-hmm.
medicine, better than stem cells, better than
Yes,
exosomes.
you're right.
Yeah. So
But that's what I'm saying, like having like good
I love
people
it.
around you.
I love it. Okay, so you mentioned coaching, fitness,
Mm-hmm.
mind body practices. Maybe I would consider, I would consider the walking kind of mind body practice, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really do yoga,
Yeah.
or I don't meditate, but I do the other things work for me
Mm-hmm.
in terms of balancing and
Do you
walking.
see? Do you feel like there are almost visible results when you do those consistently,
Yes,
and when not? Can you see it in the mirror? Can you say, "Hey, that's what's going on there"?
100%. Because recently I ran out of my testosterone for like 3 months. I didn't have it. I ran out of my NADs. I went to Europe. I didn't have them. I came back and I gained 20 pounds.
Wow.
I stopped weighing myself
Yeah.
because I thought, oh, I don't need the scale anymore. Like I shouldn't be addicted to the scale. Everything was a big mistake. So now I pretty much have like 8 pounds left to lose, which I'm trying really hard, but I want to do it in a healthy manner, like 1 pound per week, so I don't lose
I
muscle.
love it.
But yeah, so I realized, actually, I was talking to my trainer today. She's on NADs as well. And that's what's keeping her weight down. That's what had kept my weight down. I'm a big believer in NAD and being consistent. So
Have you looked?
all the things working together.
Have you ever like considered tried GLP-1 agonists, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Ozempic, things like that?
No, yes and no. So my holistic doctor just prescribed me
Uh-huh.
trizepatide, a baby dose,
Good.
and I started it last week. So I'm not like a huge believer in this. However, I wanted to do something because the extra weight isn't good for my body. Like in terms of
Yeah.
carrying the weight, I have a little bit more joint pain than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like in a healthy way to get it off as quickly as possible. I started the trizepatide last week and I'm only taking it for 4 weeks and it's definitely helped. I don't have the same cravings that I
Mm-hmm.
did. To give you an example, before I started taking that, I was eating a lot of potatoes with my eggs because I eat a lot of eggs since I'm
Mm-hmm.
a vegetarian. And now I don't have the craving for the potatoes, which is amazing because now I'm shifted to more of like egg white omelets instead of my eggs over easy.
Yeah.
And I know it's temporary, but just for like the next 4 to 8 weeks, I'm going to take the trizepatide. I'm not a believer in taking Ozempic if you're not doing everything else.
One
But if you
million
need
percent.
something, yeah, if you need something like the trizepatide, I haven't had any side effects as like a little bit of an extra because I know I'm doing everything else. And it is my fault that I gained the weight because I wasn't being as consistent as
Yeah.
I normally am, but everybody's human. So
Yeah.
I so yes, I'm actually taking that right now. I have a few more weeks left of that.
Have the person who talks with you about peptides, have they talked with you about SLUPP 332?
No, I haven't heard of that.
A lot of people call it SLOOP. It's oral. It's a oral peptide,
Hmm.
and it's kind of the new fad in the optimal performance side of things. A lot of people do like SLUPP 332, methylene blue, and a little bit of like trizepatide or GLP-1,
Okay.
and they
Yeah.
get
So
like,
this trizepatide, like I
yeah.
said, I'm on that and it has been effective, but
Got it. It's really cool. Okay, let's. We're kind of running out of time.
Okay. Sorry, I was talking too
No,
much.
you're amazing. I'm gonna rapid fire those questions that I prepared around Botox,
Okay.
so we go through them pretty quickly. Most people have experience or at least know more about Botox, so maybe it's a bit easier.
Mhm.
But let's see your opinions here. Is preventative Botox a good idea or just hype?
I think it's kind of hype.
Me too.
Okay.
Baby Botox, brilliant or BS?
BS.
Can Botox actually age your face over time if you overdo it?
Maybe. I'm not really sure about that.
Maybe, but really,
I haven't seen that.
yeah. Um, is Botox becoming the new skincare?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and what should people be asking their injector that they are not?
Side effects.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, that was good. I went through quickly, so I can ask you some questions that are a little bit more. I think that are more fitting to kind of close out this interview. It might be some things we've talked about in this interview, but these are questions that I think are the most important, especially to me, like real beauty wisdom type things. If you had to start your anti-aging journey from scratch, what would you do differently, or where would you start? How would it look like?
I would have had my facelift in my early 40s instead of waiting until 47 because I feel like I went down a thread and filler trap back then that I shouldn't have gone down. So that was a mistake. I would have started it early. I would have done the facelift earlier.
Okay, fantastic. What would you wish more women knew before stepping into their first med spa?
What their options are and making sure that they do the right amount of research in terms of looking at reviews and making sure if they're going for injections that they are with the right injector because it's not really the product as much as it is the injector.
Yes. I would say 80-20. I think it's 80% the injector.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your philosophy now on aging? Do you still think, do you still want to turn back the clock or has it evolved?
I like where I am right now. So if I could stay, if I can preserve this for the next 20 years, I'm going to be very happy. So I don't
Yes.
really need to turn back. I don't need to look younger than I am now, but I would like to stay where I am now.
I used to use this quote a lot, and now I actually can't remember who said it, but someone brilliant, like an actress, said, I don't want to look younger, I just don't want to look older.
Yeah, that's right.
So what advice do you have for women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who feel pressure to look younger?
Not to worry what the outside world thinks, just be happy with what you feel that you need to do. So if you're in your 30s and you want to do enhancements or 40s and you want to do a facelift or enhancements or 50s, just do it for yourself and not for anybody else.
Yeah. I think it's very difficult to truly believe in the beginning, especially if you feel not good about something inside. It's very difficult to say, hey, I'm going on a journey here. And what I'm going to be proud of or what I'm going to love at the end of the day is like the work that I've put in and how the work looks in the mirror. It's difficult. You want to first kind of fill in the gaping hole in your psyche around, that thing that bothers you, and then you want to do the work. But really,
Exactly.
it's
I did it the opposite and it doesn't work because I wasn't happy. Even with all the enhancements, I wasn't happy until I did the inner work.
I couldn't agree more. Okay. Really, this was a very fun podcast for me.
Thank
And the
you.
reason is this. Most podcasts that we do, because we're a longevity skincare company, most of what we do is talk about, hey, how do we avoid X, right? How do we avoid facelift? How do we avoid Botox? And I'm not sure it's congruent with most people's experience of aging. I think most people want somewhere in between. And I was very excited to have you on
Thank you.
because I think we should have more discussions with someone that's in the trenches of what's going on. When you do decide to do to see what technology has to offer. So we didn't cover everything, but we covered really big chunks of what I wanted today. And to your point, I don't think it's about chasing perfection. It's about knowing what's worth it, inside out, psyche, skin. So I love it.
I agree. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And of course, your wonderful book, it's almost like a recipe to to how to navigate everything from bullshit to Botox. I know you can get it. I know you can get it on Amazon. Where else can you get it?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And then there are a bunch of platforms really all over the world right now that are selling it. But for the US, like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, if anybody wants to contact me, my Instagram is Sandra Silverman. I have a website as well. They can email me or DM me, or even if they want to set up a call, I don't charge. So I have people that will want to set up calls if they, have questions or just want me to look at them and give them suggestions, whatever.
Nice.
So I'm happy to do that anytime.
Cool. And that's going to be in the show notes. It's going to be Amazon link and your website. Listen, that was great.
Thank you.
Hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. And to everyone, we'll see you here next time. Thank you.
Thank you.